loving this cool weather. So I felt like all year that we've had hot. But other than that, like just coming back, I drove from London to here yesterday. So it was nice to just kind of drive the countryside, see a lot of the land that a lot of times that we don't get to see. But just to kind of come back here and then to kind of start seeing my face on random pieces here and there has been very nice. I mean, I've never had that opportunity. And so to be able to enjoy that now has been very good.
I mean, reflecting back on what you have heard about last year,
I mean, it was brought to my attention how many starts until I had one. So that was a shock. It was a realization. I mean, yes, I had counted the years, but not at the actual events. But to look back and go, just how did I win? Or, what even that Sunday felt like, what even the rounds felt like. I find myself even now like, okay, how do I get myself back to that? But I was able to just play my game, and I didn't feel like I did anything special. I didn't feel like it was some miracle. I showed up, I stayed out of my own way, and I ended up walking home with a trophy.
What did it mean to you? You said you didn't know how many starts it meant. What did it mean to you just to have been out here this long?
Well, I think we had, obviously the cat was out of the bag as far as the possibility of me retiring. I hadn't really talked about that with my coach. I didn't say anything to my caddy. That was kind of like it was just a feeling that was going through my head. I mean, obviously being, 34 at the time, just realizing, okay, what's going to be the next chapter in my life? I've worked, I've been busting my butt trying to get to this win, trying to win multiple times, and it wasn't coming. And to finally have that happen it felt so good. It felt like, hey, like no matter how long you work or how, much effort you put in, that, there's no need to stop just because, I don't need to feel deflated or feel like golf beat me and I didn't get to achieve anything that I had always dreamed of. So now that being said, the retirement's on the back burner and I'm just running with the fact that my golf game's been good since and keep it going.
It's been very good since. I'm really solid this season. That was a little Renaissance.
Mm-hmm.
What's been key for you? Is it just kind of finding feeling like everything's paid off at this moment?
I've been kind of analyzing that, wondering like, was it like this elephant off my back, this feeling, this pressure being released or whatnot. But to be honest, I feel like I just have a really good team. I mean, I've been working with Jorge for 14 years. I mean, since 2014, excuse me. We've been constantly working and growing and working on certain things that I think that will help me just be more consistent with my game, that won't fold under pressure. And then on top of that, working on the mental aspect, just trying everything under the sun of what can help me in that regard. But then I just think having a caddy that I think suited me well. I mean, Mikey our first week together was Scotland. And it was just one of those that like, I felt like sometimes you can walk off a course and like, you're a team out there and, it's making the least amount of mistakes as a player and even as a caddy and even as a team together. And I think we just work really well together to minimize those things that in the long run, day after day, whether it's one shot that you feel like, hey, could have been different decision between the two of you, add those up, that's 4 shots. I mean, that's the difference between winning. That's the difference between making a cut and playing the weekend and then even growing the leaderboard from there. So I think that has been also a big key factor for me. I just feel like I am in a good place there. And then, yes, obviously winning, but winning came with other elements as far as, okay, now I won. And I thought, okay, once I broke that seal, I'd win again and again, and it would just be easier. And that's not the case. So I'm still trying to figure out like how to get back there or how to like keep myself from getting in my own way to be back there.
And that's not to mention it, you're happy off the golf course as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what did that do for, you hear, happy off the golf course, happy on the golf course, but did that help at all in the season, a little bit more confident maybe?
I mean, I think it definitely does. It means having a partnership, having, being married, having some, like my wife's super successful. She's driven. Like I don't feel like it's just me, myself out there trying to like golf became a career as soon as you turn professional. Like it is your job at the end of the day. It's the means of livelihood and making money and your future and setting up for your future. And I think when you do finally find somebody that you're with and that you then get married, like you have a partner now and that you don't no longer have to rely on yourself, but you can rely on each other. And I think that takes an element. It takes an element of just stress off your back as a player, when you miss a cut and you're like, okay, well, I'm in the hole X amount, like just from this week. Like it's not like, people around you are getting paid, but you're not getting paid. So I think there's obviously that. And then on the side of just being happy and having that ability to have something that distracts you and, be there when things aren't good or be there when things are good. I mean, the fact that she was there to be there when I won was just, how lucky did that happen to be?
Let's kind of transition to this week. Dumbarnie Links is obviously hosted this event before. Got to play the golf course yet?
Not yet. So yesterday I drove the 7.5 hours due to all the crazy flights. But I'm playing today, so I'll go play 18 holes today and then the pro-am tomorrow. I played this in 2017, so once I got back on site, I was like, okay, now I start remembering the holes. But as far as I know that once I play them, they'll all come back. Great track, so I'm excited and looking forward to it.
It's a little bit different than the venue we were on last week. I don't think we talked about it enough. Going to different climates back-to-back weeks, different green styles.
Yeah. It's hard. It's definitely, you have to just really be prepared to look at what, I'm looking over here because I see, a few holes to the right of me. And I just, it's how firm is it playing? And especially here, it's all based on the wind, and weather, like whether we get rain, if it's super windy or not. That changes a lot of things. But yeah, compared to last week, it is night and day. Maybe there's something to be said that some players play better in different elements. Some players play better in different golf styles. I don't know. Did I think that the Scottish was ever going to be my first win? No, but it was. And so maybe that was a realization to me that, hey, maybe, there is something to be said there.
And I'll just ask anybody on the Zoom, if you have a question, please indicate so in the chat to you. But you just mentioned it. You didn't really expect this to be your first win. What do you enjoy playing golf in Scotland, and why do you enjoy playing this style of links golf?
I love playing golf here because St. Andrews is probably my favorite place on earth. I just think the birth of golf. You go to that town, it's like tell anybody that doesn't really play golf, if you go to Aspen, it's all about skiing and snowboarding and being in the mountains. You go to St. Andrews and it's all golf, and it's just like you are in the home of golf, and it consumes you. And someone like myself who I love golf. I never get sick of it. I ended this season, I take a couple weeks off and I can't wait to get back to start practicing. Some people go home on their off weeks and don't do anything. I want to go practice or play money games, and I enjoy it. So I don't know, maybe that was a hindrance to me at some point mentally, that I just love it so much that I let it get the best of me versus not care as much. So I don't know, but I just feel like Scotland just lives and breathes golf, and it is like the motherland of the birth of golf, and I feel it.
We have a question on Zoom. Martin Dempster, if you'll unmute your
Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Martin.
You okay? Hi there. I've just wondered what it's meant to you to be the Scottish Women's Open champion over the last 12 months for you to say that to people and maybe be announced as the Scottish champion.
To be honest, I feel proud being the Scottish champion. The amount of people that have congratulated me, came up to me when I won, and proud of me. It felt unbelievable. I cannot explain truly what it felt, but to be the Scottish Women champion, I would take it over any event. I just hope that, I would love to be the champion again this year. So, but to be honest, it's just, like I said, to know that golf is so important here in Scotland, and then to be able to be that champion, it's meant a lot.
And you mentioned being there in 2017. Obviously, the golf course hasn't changed a lot, but there's been a lot of improvements off the golf course. What have you made of them? There's been a lot of investment down at Dundonald.
Well, there was no clubhouse when we were here before, so the clubhouse is absolutely stunning. I had dinner there last night, and the food was excellent. I'm staying here in the cottages, and they're super cozy, super nice, very clean. I'm very happy about my accommodations this week. There's a couple places that have like a full-on kitchen, a living room, a couple bedrooms. So anybody out there, you come to Scotland, you need to spend, at least a weekend or a couple days here and enjoy staying here, because you won't be disappointed.
Thank you. Have a good week.
Thank you.
Awesome. Nick Roger on the Zoom. Nick, you'll unmute the mic.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi, how are you?
Good, you?
Good.
Good. I think recalling last year, I think you said your first women's British Open at Hoylake, you got your butt kicked, for want of a better phrase. Can you actually remember how severe that butt kicking was?
It was, to be honest, I felt like that was the first time I was ever terrified in golf. Like, as far as terrified, like, I don't know where this golf ball is going. I really need to learn how to get the baby on the ground. It was just a wake-up call. I mean, it was to a point where sometimes, like, I grew up playing softball, and it's like when you get a really wild pitcher and you're up, at bat, and you got this girl that's just throwing 80-mile-an-hour underhand balls at you, and you're ready to get one beamed in the side. It's like same thing. You're standing on one of the tee boxes, and it's just howling side wind. You're like, this could go in the gorge over there. I mean, I really don't know. Like, please just somehow put some, no side spin on it. So it was just one of those weeks where I was like, I feel so out of my element and so not in control. I need to figure out how to conquer this style of golf.
Yeah. And obviously last year was the kind of ultimate redemption, I suppose. Was there a build-up before last year that you knew you were kind of getting to grips with the links game?
I mean, yeah, definitely. The hard part was I had gotten COVID before the Scottish and the British the year before, and so I was unable to come to either one. So that was, that really took the wind out of my sails as far as wanting to come and compete. These are two of my favorite events. So then the following year, I played the Irish, and I played pretty decent there. And then I felt like, okay, like I really have wind under control. Other events that we'd played in the wind, like Hawaii and stuff, I felt like I played decent there. I played decent in Hawaii this year, and I think I took sixth. And so to me, it's just I've really figured out how to really play in the wind, and I just feel like I know how to play with it versus like have it play me. And I think that's the key point. I figured out how to hit this low tee shot. That really helps. Like, and if it's howling wind, I can just get that driver off the ground. I mean, it can fly 20 yards off the ground and run forever. So I feel like getting the ball in play is huge. Staying patient is very huge. I think what helped me last year with winning was, I think I was so focused on having this new caddy and just thinking, okay, he's going to tell me to hit it here and I'm just going to hit it there. And we went around the course that all week doing that same thing. I didn't get caught up in, the morning round had no wind, the afternoon round had a ton of wind, and we got in the afternoon round. And then the same thing the next day, we had wind in the morning. So I never got out of it, but I didn't allow myself to focus on scores. And I think that's been the biggest challenge for me now, is to keep trying to get back to that place, is just staying in the moment. And I think when it comes to windy conditions, is it really tests that. And that is, I think, one of the key factors is to just play each shot as you can, because you're worn out after 18 holes, and if it's super windy out here.
Just one final, it's probably impossible to avoid the whole live golf palaver these days. There was obviously a story the other week with the LPGA Tour. If something like that developed, what would your opinion be on live golf getting involved in the women's game?
I'll just say this. I think the PGA Tour didn't do it right in regards to possibly sitting down and having a conversation with Liv and seeing what the possibilities were of coming together. I think they created a very big void with each other, and it's creating a lot of turmoil. I hope that if the Liv decides to approach the LPGA and create something, or want to create something, that maybe we can do it together, and versus it being this, this taboo thing, or this big issue where players are going to have to choose. I think that it would be a great opportunity to utilize the possibility that there could be some major finance opportunities, and that we come together as two organizations versus having two separate organizations.
Good stuff. That's great, Ryan. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Any questions in the room? All right, let's wrap it up here. 2017, this event, obviously became post-sanctioned by the RT. It's been really elevated by Trust on Scotland.
Yes.
How have you seen this event? How have you played in it the first time? Evolve it now?
To be honest, I feel like in 2017, prior, it was one of our smaller events. It was one of those that you look at and go, oh, I don't really want to go play it. I might need to take it off. Now it's one that you want to play. They definitely elevated a lot of it. It feels like a big tournament. It feels like a solid event, looking around at the setup, the venue, everything that they provide. I mean, the purse increase, it's been phenomenal. So I thank Trust Golf for that and their commitment to women's golf and our partnership together.
Ryan, good luck this week in your title defense.
Thank you.